It's showtime at Homestead, Miami.
Andre Baranowskis at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Morgan, he backs us in trouble, let it go. Gordon to the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last half, and the victory in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
I've been dreaming, thinking that maybe we're all gonna win. 'Cause I've been losing sleep, fighting something. I think it's time to let go. I think it's time to let go. I think it's time to let go. I thought I'd let you all know. I think it's time to let go.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is the matinee for the 2020 NOFSRL Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout. We are back at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, and we are here for the modified heat races, which will determine the starting lineup for tonight's 76-lap modified feature, and also the super late model last chance qualifier race. So 3 races here during the afternoon before we head into the nighttime for the main feature events. I'm joined alongside Justin Seidel once again. And Justin, what we saw yesterday in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race and how wild that was, and with everything we've seen so far this weekend, now that it's not under the lights, how do you think the racing will be in these modified heats in the LCQ?
Honestly, I think it'll still be crazy as it was in the nighttime. It's a very tight track. It causes a lot of good race, especially off the turn 4 where cars can get sideways and they can almost wreck. So it definitely is different because the track temperature is warmer, so it will cause a difference in the racing. But I think it's going to be just as crazy as all the other races before.
It should be, and you're racing in tonight's super late model feature. You're going to be starting up front for that one, so maybe you'll get a little bit of experience and maybe some knowledge from watching today's matinee race. Let's go ahead and get started. The first of the 2 modified heat races. This first one will determine the inside lane starting positions for tonight's 76-lap event. Let's go ahead and get to it here for modified heat number 1 from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And here we go for the first of 2 heats for the modified feature. And like I said, this will start the inside lane starting positions for tonight's 76-lap feature. And Luke Rainey grabbed the fastest time in qualifying last night, so he will lead us to the green flag for this first heat. And alongside him, it's the number 9 of Zach Winkle. And Justin, we got a lot of strong drivers in this modified class. We got Fitzwater starting 4th. Who do you think is going to pull off the race victory here in heat number 1?
I'll go with the pole sitter for this heat, Luke Rainey. Starting up front is a big key for this race, unless you can make up a lot of ground in the back. But mainly, like we've seen before, where you start up front, you get a major advantage. So I think Luke Rainey's going to get it.
And the winner of this race will start on the pole for tonight's feature. So if that's the case for Luke Rainey, he might have a good shot at winning this feature event later on tonight. Get these guys to roll up here for the first heat in the modified class for the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout. It is Luke Rainey starting on the pole position, fastest time in qualifying last night. Alongside him, Zach Winkle in the number 9 machine. We can get a jump there on that outside lane. We'll have to see what he can do. Christopher Alphabet to the inside of Zachary Fitzwater in row number 2. Number 3 of Chase Harris to the inside of the 14 of Owen Miles. Then we got the number 40 machine, that driven by Noah Clifton, starting to the inside of Caitlin Dowd in the 46. The 07 machine of Josh Williamson to the inside of the 38, driven by Joey Hightower. First of 2 heats in the modifieds here during the daytime for the first time in the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout. We're green flag racing in the first heat, and a good jump from Zach Winkle on the outside lane.
Yeah, it was very impressive, though. Even though, well, he might take the lead. I don't know. Luke Rainey has the advantage on the inside, but Winkle, he's getting a nice run down the back straightaway.
Trying to work the outside lane. It's something we really haven't seen yet here in this whole shootout, but they remain side by side on the first lap, with Rainey getting the advantage for that first lap here at North Wilkesboro. I'm telling you, Winkle's got a strong ride on that outside lane.
Yeah, he's digging hard. He's not letting that lead go completely. He is absolutely digging, trying to make something work.
And starting the outside lane here is not the preferred line, and Winkle definitely trying to get something to work for him. Of course, all these guys will be starting on the inside lane for tonight's feature, so they don't really have to worry about that at the start of the race tomorrow, or tonight, I should say. Gonna be tonight. But Winkle did a great job there from that outside lane, trying to get the advantage on Luke Rainey, and now Rainey is just ahead of him here. Christopher Alvaby, Chase Harris, and Zachary Fitzwater all in line inside the top 5. What a race so far here in this first heat. Very interesting stuff here, and they're right on each other here 4 laps into this one.
Yeah, and right now they've also calmed it down too. Almost everyone is single file. At least the front is. The back's kind of racing side by side still, but other than that, they kind of calmed it down a little bit since the start.
Good job out of these guys. They know the main event isn't until tonight. Of course, the winner of this race will start on the pole position for tonight's event. Luke Rainey did not lock on his spot, so Rainey definitely has something to race for here in this first heat. He's going a little wide there once again off of turn 4, and Winkle might close into him before the end of this one. You got Christopher Alvaby there in 3rd, Chase Harris, Zachary Fitzwater still the top 5. Owen Miles falling way back in the 14, stuck in that outside lane. Caitlin Dowd in the 46 to the inside of him. You got the number 8 on the inside as well. That's Cameron Garland. They're trying to move up a few positions, get a better starting position for tonight's feature. 32 machine also moving his way through the field. Here, Jalarvin Alonso. A couple guys really didn't get to talk about in qualifying last night, but both of these guys have been around on NAPFan for quite some time, and I'd imagine they're going to be moving their way through the field tonight in the feature event. To the inside right there, number 15 of Mason Brown gaining a few positions as Zach Winkle is still there on Luke Rainey.
Yeah, he's really digging hard. He's trying really hard to get a run on him and make the pass. He's been right behind him. He just hasn't had that opportunity yet. We'll see if it happens soon.
It's going to happen soon. I think Winkle has the faster race car on Rainey, but Rainey has been able to hold on nicely in this one. Winkle trying to do all he can to get a run. We're closing down. Only 7 laps to go here in this first heat for the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout in Modifieds, and there we go. Winkle look to the inside. We'll have to see if he can get a run to the inside. Not quite yet, but that 9 is going to be there within the next couple of laps, I do believe.
Yeah, he will, but I got to give Luke Rainey some credit. He's been really doing a great job defending that position. He's not letting anyone get around him. That is really great defensive driving by Luke Rainey.
Winkle had to check it up just a little bit. Here comes Christopher Alvaby looking for the 2nd position. Not going to get it quite yet. Here comes Noah Clifton on fellow Aussie Zachary Fitzwater. Not going to be able to get to the inside of him quite yet. I'm not sure if it's just because it's a slicker racetrack out here, but these guys seem to be sticking at single file a little bit more than they were under the lights. We've seen a lot of side-by-side racing so far this weekend, but not as much here in this first heat for the Modifieds.
Yeah, I think the track temperature might have something to do with that, because during the daytime, the track is much hotter and slicker than it is at night, so that probably plays a big difference into this.
Oh, there goes Rainey way up the racetrack. Zach Winkle's gonna finally get a run, or is he? Winkle, I mean, I'd be frustrated if I were Winkle. I've been trying to get this lead from Luke Rainey from the drop of the green flag, and I haven't been able to do anything. He's trying. It's going to be 2 laps to go next time by. Of course, if a yellow flies, that's going to end the heat. Got Alphabet still in 3rd. Chase Harris, great run for him in 4th. Determining the inside lane starting positions for tonight's feature event. And Winkle may have used up his stuff there. He might not be able to get around this 2 machine.
Yeah, I think Luke Rainey is going to take this heat home unless he makes a really big mistake, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to take this heat. He's going to win this heat and start on the pole tonight.
White flag for Luke Rainey in heat number 1, of course, deservingly so. He was the fastest in qualifying, so he definitely feels like he deserves to start on the pole tonight. Meanwhile, we do have a battle right here. Chase Harris and Christopher Alphaby, and Harris to the inside. Might nab a couple of positions on the starting grid from the 7. Rainey wins heat 1 at the line. I think Alphaby edged out Harris at the line. And he did not. It was Chase Harris who will finish 3rd and start 5th tonight in the 76-lap feature. That was a close one there for the 3rd position here in heat number 1. Luke Rainey, your winner in the first heat for the modifieds. He will, in fact, start on the pole position tonight in the feature event. 76 laps of action here in the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout. We'll have to see if Rainey can avenge his loss from last year on the super late models. Possibly get a Saturday night feature win. That's how they're going to line up on the inside lane tonight. Luke Rainey, Zach Winkle, Chase Harris, Christopher Alphaby, and Zachary Fitzwater all starting on the inside lane inside the top 10. Logan Williams, who won last night's late model stock event, finishing last in this heat, he'll be starting in the 35th position tonight. So what do you think we're going to see in the second heat? After we saw a pretty calm first heat, do you think it'll be just as calm in the second heat in a couple of minutes?
Yeah, probably will, because since it's in the daytime, I don't think they're going to really do any hard racing. It's only 15 laps, so I think they're just going to do the same thing. Maybe, yeah, they're going to do the same thing for the second heat.
We're going to have to see how it all goes down. We're going to determine the outside lane starting positions for the modified feature tonight, right now, here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway in the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout. And here we are for heat number 2 in the modifieds of the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout here on Saturday afternoon. And we saw a pretty calm first heat. That might just have been the calmest race we have seen all weekend. Will we see it here in this one? We're going to have to find out. Jesse Turner starting on the pole position. The winner of this race will start on the outside pole alongside Luke Rainey for tonight's 76-lap feature. And I know I already asked you if this was going to be as calm as it is. But do you think, considering these guys are starting in the outside lane, which is not the preferred line for starting here at North Wilkesboro, do you think these guys might be vying a little bit harder for positions, knowing that if you start on the outside and the back, you have a less likely chance of getting a good finish in the end?
Maybe so. I don't know. I mean, what we saw in the first heat race was nice and calm, and I think it's just going to be the same here as well. But since they are starting on the outside, maybe they will race a little harder than the first heat. We'll just have to see what happens.
And we will here. And we'll get these guys to roll off here for the second heat. It's Jesse Turner, like we mentioned, on the pole position alongside him, a rookie driver, and Brock Nelson. Starting alongside the first ever winner on Napfin. Pretty big honor right there for the rookie. In run number 2, Ryan Arani to the inside of Jonathan Logan. Then we have the 95 RJ Bishop starting on the outside pole for the super late model feature tonight. He's to the inside of the 85, driven by Lemuel Cook. And then you got the 22 of Nathan Stapleton. What should I say? We got the 5 of Micah Knapp to the inside of the 54, driven by Ashley Boyd. Then Nathan Stapleton to the inside of Brandon Nelson. That's the top 10 starting positions here in heat number 2. Outside lane starting positions to be determined in 15 laps. Green flag back in the air in the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout. And Turner with a better jump on the inside lane than what Rainey had in the first heat. Brock Nelson, though, will clear Durrani. Yes. Yep. And now he's going to have his eye set on Turner for the race lead.
Yeah, but then Durrani just comes right back in him. He's going to have the advantage going into turn 1. I think he's going to get him once they come out of turn 2.
And all this battling for second place is going to allow Turner to pull away here in this one. 82, Ryan Durrani. He's an experienced veteran at this point. It wasn't that long ago when he was a rookie, but got a lot of Chick-fil-A Cup Series experience, has been around for a little while, and he's going to go ahead and take the second position away from Brock Nelson. Here comes Jonathan Logan, or should I say RJ Bishop, in the 95 to the inside of Jonathan Logan. Logan falling back on the outside lane. The 5 of Micah Knapp, the 22 of Nathan Stapleton getting to the inside of him there, and then it's all this mess back in here, roughly around the 8th position.
Yeah, but I believe the back, kind of like what it was in the first heat, where the back of the pack kind of races a little hard at first, but then it cools down in like a few laps, so they'll probably get single file or calm it down soon, like around lap 10 or so.
Here comes the number 79 of Trey Smith. He's going to get to the inside of Jonathan Logan. Logan falling way back. He started in the 4th position for this heat. And by the looks of it, he may end up falling further back in the field. RJ Bishop now looking on Brock Nelson. Of course, RJ Bishop is a veteran solely in this race alone, in the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout. He almost won the super late model feature last year. I mean, maybe he didn't almost win it, but he probably should have won it because he started on the pole last year as well, but had an engine issue in that event. Of course, he's hoping that doesn't happen to him this year, but he would definitely love to improve his starting position for the modified feature as well. Maybe have a shot at winning this thing, but I don't know. Turner has pulled out to a pretty significant lead in the number 60 machine. And I just don't know. Without a caution, I don't think Durrani's going to be able to catch up to him here in heat number 2, especially if Durrani's going to overshoot the corner like that. Micah Knapp, great run for him. More known for IndyCar racing, but his first start of the year here on Napa Fan looking pretty solid right now in the number 5 machine.
He's doing a great job. He's kind of around the top 5. He's just hanging back there. He's doing a nice job just staying with the pack, not losing any ground. But Jesse Turner, I think he's going to have this race in the bag. He is really out front, proving why he's one of the most experienced drivers on Napa Fan. I think he's going to get this heat win.
We'll have to see how it all goes down here in these last 7 laps. I don't think this is exactly what we're going to see tonight, though. With the lights on, with it all being for the main feature, 36 cars on the racetrack, I think we're going to see some beating and banging these amount of 5s later tonight. Right now, these guys are going to take care of the equipment. It's not like anyone is, in risk of failing to start the race. Everyone's going to be in it tonight for these guys. Now, when it comes to the LCQ here in a moment for the super late models, not necessarily the case for those guys, but these guys definitely putting on a decent show here for us and still keeping the cars clean. Brandon Nelson started inside the top 10. He fell all the way back to the 18th position there, so it looks like he may end up starting in the last position for tonight's feature event. But his brother, Brock Nelson, has held his ground nicely in the 3rd position there, with RJ Bishop right behind him. We'll have to see if Bishop gets around him before the end of this race. But good stuff out of Brock Nelson so far here in this second heat.
Yeah, really good start. He's kind of on the outside right now. He's going to get passed by Bishop, but he's been doing a really great job hanging around the outside. He's going to get a run. He looks like he's going to try to take the 3rd position back, and he will.
We see such a different style of racing under the sunlight here, with the track being as slick as it is right now. It's not going to really be like that later on tonight. So the inside lane isn't working as well as it does under the lights. That's going to give Micah Knapp an opportunity to find a way around RJ Bishop, possibly. How about Trey Smith? Great run for him in the 79 up to 7th. That'll put him 14th to start in the feature tonight. And then Jonathan Logan trying to rebound, currently in the 8th position. Got a piece of it there with Trey Smith trying to get around him here for the 7th position. Micah Knapp still on it with RJ Bishop. And Logan may have it here on Trey Smith for 7th.
Yeah, he's going to get it too, I think. Logan lost a lot of ground in the start, and he's going to have a hard time making it up. I think this is where he's going to finish right here.
Jesse Turner in the number 60 has taken the white flag, and he will start in the 2nd position for tonight's feature event alongside Luke Rainey. Jesse Turner wins heat number 2 in the modifieds of the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout, and then the 82 machine of Ryan Durrani will start in 4th. Brock Nelson able to hold off RJ Bishop. He'll start 6th. Bishop will start 8th. And Micah Knapp will start 10th. But Turner with the race victory in heat number 2. So far, we've yet to see a caution. Do you think these guys are just getting ready for tonight? Or do you think this is what we're going to see tonight in the feature event?
No, I think we're going to see a completely different race at the night. I think it's the daytime that they just kind of run single file, but we've seen it before in the nighttime. They just go absolutely crazy. And I believe the race is going to be like the other ones that have happened this weekend. It's going to be a very insane, crazy race.
It will be, with 36 cars on the field, a lot of veterans and some rookies as well. It's going to be a wild one tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here in Napa Fan for the feature events. We've got one more race to do here in the matinee, and it's a pretty crucial one at that. It's the LCQ for the super late models. Only the top 6 advance to the feature. The rest of them are sent home, so it's going to be a wild one here Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the super late model LCQ from North Wilkesboro. Congratulations to Luke Rainey and Jesse Turner. They're going to lead us to the green flag tonight in the modified feature right here on NevaFan. And here we go. Quite possibly the most critical race of the day, outside the features, of course. It is the super late model LCQ. Only the top 6 finishers in this race will be racing tonight in the feature. The other 9 will be going home. And Justin, what we saw in the modified heats is something we're probably not going to see in this one because the stakes are much higher in this last chance qualifier race.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys, you know, the ones in the front have to be careful too. They got to make sure they get out and make sure they pull distance on the rest of these guys because the guys in the back could still make some moves and try to get into that top 6. It's going to be a really crazy race.
The guys who were starting on the inside lane for this heat were in heat number 2 and group number 2 on Thursday night. The guys who were starting on the outside lane for this LCQ were in group number 1, heat number 1 on Thursday night because RJ Bishop won the pole in group number 2. Group number 2 gets the advantage of starting on the inside lane for tonight's feature and also here on this LCQ. So Parker Smith in the number 45 will lead us to the green flag. He was the first one out in heat number 2. He's going to be starting alongside Mitchell Collins in the number 26. Owen Miles looking to the inside of Cole Speed in row number 2. Then we have ourselves the number 50 machine driven by Isaac Nichols starting to the inside of the 40 of Ryan Durrani. The 18 machine of Brandon Nelson to the inside of the 12 of Trey Smith. Marty Johnson, quite possibly the highest profile driver in this LCQ, starting to the inside of the 1 of Buck Hover. Then we have the 24 of Nathan Smith to the inside of Fisher G. The 16 machine, that is Brad Stover to the inside of Austin Johnson. And then Brock Nelson, both Nelson brothers, I should say, in this LCQ. Here we go. Top 6 advance onto the feature. We're green flag racing in the super late model LCQ. And that 26, Mitchell Collins, knows that outside lane is not a good place to be, trying to work it on Parker Smith for the race lead.
Yeah, and he's hanging on too. Parker Smith's going to have the advantage coming off of turn 4, but Collins, he really tried to hang on there. We'll see what happens later on.
These guys definitely vying for that inside lane right now, but they're going to go 3 wide. How about the 50 machine there of Isaac Nichols? Of course, his return to NevaFan. He does not want to miss out on the big event tonight. The winner of this race will start 37th, and the top 6 finishers in this race will finish in positions 37th through 42nd, respectively, tonight. So it's not an inside-outside lane thing for these guys. Where they finish is where they file in for the last 6 positions in the feature. So first side-by-saddle between Cole Speed and Isaac Nichols. Speed falling back. The transfer position right now is right in the middle of that 3-wide situation. Brandon Nelson and Cole Speed with the last 2 transfer positions, but here comes Marty Johnson in the 52. We mentioned one of the highest profile drivers in this LCQ. It would be a shame if he were to miss it later on tonight.
Oh, absolutely. What these guys behind, they know if they don't get in the top 6, they're going to miss out on the race too, so they are really racing hard.
Nathan Smith there in the 24. Marty Johnson currently in the transfer position. The 40 machine of Ryan Durrani, the first one out. Durrani was behind Turner that whole heat in the modified just a moment ago. We'll have to see if he can find a way around Marty Johnson, but it's looking a lot like that modified heat that we had. It's a really slick racetrack. These guys are not as racy as they have been all weekend long, but Brandon Nelson really wide off the corner. Marty Johnson wants to have a buffer between him and the elimination position.
Hold up.
Number 52, Marty Johnson trying to get around Brandon Nelson here. These guys falling off a little bit from the top 4. Isaac Nichols comfortably in right now. Same with the 26 of Mitchell Collins, Owen Miles in the 8, and the 45 of Parker Smith. Have not seen a pass for the lead yet here in this matinee. We'll have to see if we get one here in this LCQ. We haven't even seen a caution yet in this matinee, which is a lot different than what we saw last year, but the racing a little bit calmer. I think it's a hotter day this year than it was last year, and this racetrack's a lot more slick than it was in the matinee last year. Johnson going to get to the inside of Brandon Nelson. That's going to open the door for Ryan Durrani to take 6th away, and now Brandon Nelson to the outside. He's going to fall to an elimination position.
Oh, he hit the wall.
Oh, and he's fallen way back now.
Yeah,
You're right,
Nelson
lost the position into Nathan Smith.
Yeah, so Brandon Nelson, he was coming off of turn 4, and he hit the wall, and he lost a lot of ground. That's
Brock
most
Nelson, his
likely
brother's there right behind him. Meanwhile,
crash.
so much going on here for second. That's Mitchell Collins trying to get to the inside of Owen Miles, trying to bring Isaac Nichols in here as well. Next time we're halfway through this LCQ. Parker Smith sitting rather comfortably right now, but these guys have not really fallen off even with all that battling. Some of the 50 of Isaac Nichols.
It's like the modifieds. I think it's... There you go.
Nichols holding on to third now. He got around Owen Miles right there. Marty Johnson, he's got to be careful because he's got Ryan Durrani and Nathan Smith coming up on him. He got a little wide off the corner. Durrani's going to move to the inside. Nichols is going for second on Collins. Johnson will be able to hold off Durrani for now, but we got a battle for second here at North Wilkesboro.
And these guys battling behind it, it's causing Parker Smith to pull away. Unless he makes a bad mistake, he's going to have this LCQ in the bag.
We're going to have to see who gets second here. Of course, this battle really isn't that important. All these guys are going to be starting in the back for the feature tonight, but this position right here, Durrani and Nathan Smith, that is the line. Nathan Smith is currently outside looking in. Ryan Durrani, the first guy in. Smith trying to get a run to the inside of Durrani. Can't quite get it yet. You know, if these guys aren't careful, these guys battling for second, they could fall in the clutches of those guys coming behind them. Mitchell Collins is now stuck in the outside lane. Looks like Marty Johnson's going to get a run to the inside of him. If Collins does not get out of that outside lane, he could fall to the 7th position and be on the brink of elimination.
Yeah, and they've been, you know, like I was about to mention that, these guys, they're not that safe because 7 positions right behind them. Right now they've got single file, but it's still, these guys right there, they're not completely safe yet until the end, until it's over.
Ryan Durrani trying to get to the inside of Mitchell Collins. Durrani does not want to be in that transfer position. He wants to be a little bit safer than that. Nathan Smith trying to make it into the biggest race of his career so far in Appafan. One of these first-time drivers. And he's putting it up to a veteran, Ryan Durrani, right ahead of him. We'll have to see if he can get around him in these final 4 laps. Parker Smith has checked out. Collins now looking to the inside of Marty Johnson. But Johnson currently still inside. He's currently running 4th and good to go for now to transfer on. But this is where the big battle is. Nathan Smith and Ryan Durrani. If any of these guys get stuck in the outside lane, they could fall back to the 7th position.
And Marty Johnson is really close to doing that. He was able to hang on to it, but he's been kind of slipping up in the turns. If he really gets to the outside, he's going to lose a bunch of positions.
Mitchell Collins has been trying to get around Marty Johnson here, but he hasn't been successful. And this hot, slick racetrack is not very inviting to making a move on the guy ahead of you. Parker Smith has checked out in the 45, but he's got to be careful. He really went up the racetrack that last lap, and he's still in a very good position. I don't think he's going to get eliminated, but definitely would love to go flag to flag on this one. White flag for him for Parker Smith, looking to start 37th for tonight's feature. And Nathan Smith and Ryan Durrani, this is the last lap, the last shot for Nathan Smith to make it on, but it looks like he will not be able to have enough on the 40 machine here to make it into the feature event.
No, I think Durrani's going to have it, and he will have it. As Parker Smith, he comes to the checker flag to win the LCQ, and Durrani holds on to the final position to transfer.
So, Ryan Durrani will be racing in tonight's feature event for the Super Late Models. The drivers unfortunately failing to qualify will be Nathan Smith, Brock Nelson, Cole Speed, the 25 of Fisher G, the 16 of Brad Stover, Brandon Nelson in the 18, the 57 machine of Austin Johnson, the number 1 of Buck Hover, and the 12 of Trey Smith. The top 6 advancing: Parker Smith, Isaac Nichols, Owen Miles, Marty Johnson, Mitchell Collins, and Ryan Durrani. All those guys with a lot of Napa fan experience, so no surprise to see those guys kind of best the veterans. There's a couple big names who won't be in it, Fisher G and Brad Stover. Those guys have been around quite some time, and unfortunately they're going to both have to watch from the sidelines tonight. But very calm matinee. I think we're just winding it up for tonight. What are you most looking forward to in tonight's event, especially considering you're starting in the 4th position? Or actually, I think you might be starting in the 3rd position because you won the 2nd heat. So I think you're starting in the 3rd position. You're in that prime position to start in tonight's feature event for the Super Late Models. What are you most looking forward to with both features tonight here in the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout?
Looking forward to some really hard race and some very side-by-side action like we've seen in the past. I think it's going to be crazy. And starting up front is an advantage because once you're up there, I don't think there's really no way to lose ground unless something happens to you. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's race.
It'll be a blast. If the truck race is too boring for you, which it might not be, I'll probably actually be watching the truck race over it. But hey, like I said, they scheduled that thing. They said it was going to be 5:30. They said it was going to be 7:30. They couldn't make up their mind. It's going to start at 7:30, which is right in the zone of when our race is starting. But hey, we're still going to have it 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight if you want to check it out. The modified feature event, 76 laps, and then the super late model feature right after that, 100 laps. Going to be a great night here from North Wilkesboro on Napa Fan. Odds are the truck race will be done by the time before the last feature finishes up for the super late model, so maybe you can check it in once that is all done. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to the 6 guys advancing on here in the super late model LCQ. Thanks to Justin for helping me call when Alex couldn't make it. And we will see you guys later tonight for the Junior Johnson Memorial Shootout main event, the modified feature, and the super late model feature here from North Wilkesboro. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.